Get this guy. Biggest loser in the business, and yet your boys are all concerned what I say. Hey, dude, it wasn't me saying that shit. It was Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown and even Ocho Cinco. I mean, they care what I say. Thank you, Rochelle. I appreciate that. How you doing? Yeah, big sales, baby. How are you doing? Like a twist, the shit starter. We're going an hour today, so we got a lot to get to here. But I do want to thank Devontae Smith very much. All right. So let's see this here. Let's see the reaction. How many people like the pick for the Eagles last night with Quinyon Mitchell from Toledo? Let's start there. Let's start there. And for the record, let's take a look at the needs list. Eagles at 22. If you can see it, at 22, Philadelphia. First thing on my list is cornerback. Did they address the need? Yes. That's an A. Okay, that's an A. Rookie deal. You addressed the need. What else was good about the pick? You drafted the best evaluated player. And look, as I told you, I had Mitchell the 7th best player in the National Football League draft. So at 22, you got the 7th best player, in my opinion. That's another A. Now, we're sitting here on April 26th doing this. I think you should be excited about that. Okay? Everything he did, Howie Roseman and his group did the right thing. When I mentioned my suspicion about the contract structure, I had a feeling that they would sign AJ. Great pick last night. We didn't reach either. Hey, you didn't reach. Actually, he fell to you, which showed me that Howie was patient. I got to tell you, those quarterbacks, holy cow, the quarterbacks and the offensive linemen, in my opinion, along with some of the wide receivers, they dropped so many good football players. There's still a ton of players that are still available. We'll take a look at that at the back end of the hour on players that are still available. There's some really good guys that were evaluated that if you draft and you pick, you're going to get a quality player through this evaluation process. Now, again, the evaluation process versus processing the talent and seeing if it matriculates to the next level, obviously, that's got to play out once you get to training camp and when you get to these OTAs. Remember when Missing Persons was hype about Mozzie? Absolutely. I mean, Mozzie Smith, he was all over me because he went to Michigan. He was a run stopper. You know what? I don't think Darius Slay was dick last night. I don't think he was last night. Let me get back to this because I want to give you my evaluation. Having talked to some folks this morning about Quinyon Mitchell. How many people like the pick by the Eagles at 22 with Quinyon Mitchell? I like the fact they didn't have to give up any assets and they didn't have to move. And they kept their 22 or two second-round draft choices intact. How many like the pick? Crowley likes it. Yeah, I like it. 34, good morning, Sales. Congrats to your daughter and her accomplishments. Appreciate everything you do. Educate, entertain us. Much love, brother. 34, much love to you guys. I got to tell you something. Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown and Darius Slay and Jason Kelsey and all these people don't respond to this program if it's not for you. Just so you understand that. I know that. It's not just me. It's us. Okay? It's us. It's just, and I mean that with all my heart. It's not just me. Without a platform, I'd be standing in a forest talking to myself. So you guys are the trees. Okay? But you hear me, and they hear me, And it's because of you guys, so it means a lot. Believe me. Okay? You could take that to the bank. Hey, look at this. Ren says your name is buzzing in the city. Public enemy number one. You're damn right, man. Yeah. I'm the bad guy. You know why? I tell the truth. I'm the bad guy. Oh, here come the bad. You know what you say to me? There's the bad guy. All right, let me get into Quinyon Mitchell, and here's my takeaway in my evaluation on Quinyon Mitchell. 6 foot, 195, 4.33, 40-yard dash. Exceptional. 38 vertical, which means what? He's an athlete. That's exceptional. Exceptional. And when you watch him on tape, Mitchell, he possesses great flexibility, especially in his hips. He's got size and strength. And the way he moves in the secondary, you see why people immediately fall in love with him and the way that he can contort his body. They basically call him the cornerback Gumby. I mean, he can move all over the place, which means when he goes up at the point of the football, he's not going to lose his point of reference where he is. His equilibrium is great. He can turn. He's an athlete. And when you look at him, he's bigger than DeAndre Swift. I know when you say 195, so he's 600 pounds. That's a running back playing corner. When you look at him, he looks like a running back. Did 33 reps on his bench. He's a strong kid. For 195, 33 with his body weight is exceptional. This guy had 33 reps at 225. That's pretty strong guy, man. The guy is a physical guy, man. And like I said, the way he moves, he's built like a running back. So when you're looking at the physicality, you see why people are falling in love with him. Here's something else. Coaches have said this too. And Xander brought this to my attention about Nick Saban wanting him at Alabama. You know what the biggest thing that attracted Nick Saban to Quinyon Mitchell? He hits like a safety. He doesn't hit like a corner. Most corners, they kind of gather you or herd you and not real big hitters. He hits like Sidney Brown. I mean, you got Sidney Brown at 4.33 with cover ability. That's what really impressed people about him. He hits like a safety. That's the first thing that jumped out at me was that he hits like a safety. I like that. That's a rare quality in a corner, especially in today's guys. And it's a tone setter that you would have in your secondary. He has playmaking skills like Gardner Johnson. I mean, these are all the scouting reports that came out of, Nagy, who runs the Senior Bowl down in Mobile. This is his evaluation on him, not mine. I added some things into it because I went back and watched it last night. Senior Bowl, in practice, no one could get by him. Which meant this, it wasn't just a Senior Bowl game. So in the practice, that I always tell you that when you go to places like LSU or Alabama and you're practicing against the best players in the country every day, not just on Saturdays. Well, him at the Mobile Senior Bowl, he was awesome. He was one of the guys that stood out. He was by far the highest graded corner at the Senior Bowl. Here's the one thing that he's going to have to work at, and especially when he gets to the National Football League. He can get knocked off his routes. But here's the thing that Nagy said to me, the executive director of the Senior Bowl. He's got such great closing speed, he can make up for mistakes. He's got a burst. Like if he gets turned around in a route, okay, he can make that up with his speed and get back to the point of attack. So he has got the intangibles if he makes a mistake to cover that mistake with his speed and his athleticism. So he gets knocked off routes a bit. And my problem with that would be you got knocked off of routes in the Mid-America Conference. And then it was more seen at the Senior Bowl where he did, but he was so good versus everyone else, he covered it. Well, the college kids are great, but when you got to go against Justin Jefferson or AJ Brown or any of these other guys, you're not going to be afforded that because those guys are physical too, and those guys have all the tricks. So it's going to be a work in progress. It's going to be a work in progress here. He's got really great feet. He can play press, which is something they don't have in the secondary. So again, when you look at Quinyon Mitchell, did Howie make the right pick? Yeah. He made the right pick because it was a need. It was the best player in the draft. And get this, he got a football player that is being underdrafted. And all because you're trying to tell me you would take Bo Nix over Quinyon Mitchell if you were starting a football team. Really? Think about that. What I just said. Would you take Bo Nix or J.J. McCarthy if you were going to play a pickup basketball game? You would take one of those guys over him? How about starting your football team? You know how you do that in high school? Hey, let's play touch football. You're taking Bo Nix? I'm not. I mean, he's underdrafted. That's a win. Did the Eagles get better? Yet to be seen. However, at a position, it's a 64% failure rate at that position. But what he did was he didn't get the second best guy, who I like in Teron Arnold because he went to Bama and he played in the SEC. Okay? I mean, on a rookie deal, you're going to move off one of those corners. So to me, he didn't go off the reservation except for just this. I think he went off the reservation because it's Toledo. I really like the story too. He got offered, get this, at Alabama, he got offered somewhere close to $1 million in nil money. He had no nil money at Toledo. Toledo's never had a first-round draft choice in the history of the program. He's the first. Okay, he's an outlier for that program. He was pursued by LSU, Florida State, Clemson. All of them wanted to pay big money. But because he was a non-qualifier coming out of high school, in theory, had to sit at home and get his grades up so that he could play. He played a lot. He's a 4-year starter, too. Or he's a 4-year player, 3-year starter. I don't mind that. I think that's actually to his advantage, having been at a smaller school. Because why is that an advantage, being at a smaller school? You got more tape on him. What you don't want to do is draft a kid from Toledo having 1 year, and you really don't have a lot of tape. Look how that one tape thing always works out. Look at how it worked out for Mitchell Trubisky. Played 1 year. Kind of okay, I guess. So, I mean, he had 4 years of tape at Toledo. So, some of you may go, damn. I mean, now here's another issue that I have. He's not the best corner in the country. Okay? He's probably the second best corner in the country. So you didn't draft the best player at the position in the United States. That kid's at Colorado still. You always get concerned with that when he's not better than a guy who's a junior and he's playing for Dion and Travis Hunter. Travis Hunter is superior to him. It's not close. Like when you watch Travis Hunter play and you watch Quinyon Mitchell, they're not in the same room. It's not close. It's not downplaying, but when Travis Hunter goes to the combines and you look at his tape from Jackson State, and then you look at what you saw at Colorado, it's remotely not close. Hunter's spectacular. That's right. Xander's like, Travis Hunter is a generational type talent. Tough to compare. Right. But what that does is you compare everything to him. It's like being compared to Tiger and Patrick Mahomes. When you see that player, you look at him and go, yeah, but he's not that guy. Okay. And you're right. He's one of. But and is he close? No. But is he like him? Yes. 4.33. That's no shitting on him, man. And plus with the fact that he's athletic and could have played anywhere he wanted in the country. And I there's a part of me that goes, you should have challenged yourself, son. And there's another part of me that goes, his loyalty. Do you guys know what else is the biggest thing too? You know what the story is at Toledo? The head football coach is Nick Sirianni's roommate in college. Did you know that? They were roommates in college. The head football coach at Toledo and Nick Sirianni were teammates and roommates in college. So they kind of had a bunch of conversations on what was going down. Those Mount Union boys, exactly. They were roommates. So I would think that his friend, and they're close. So what are you going to get with that? You're going to get the truth from your friend. He's probably told him some of the shit and some of the mostly great, but you're going to get the skinny on the kid. This is who he is. Quality kid, character guy, love him. He embodies our program. All of that stuff is true. And then he's going to tell you, coach him hard. Don't let up on him. And you got Vic Fangio, who is notorious for coaching people hard. Okay? That's a great thing. That's probably the thing that attracted Vic Fangio the most to Quinyon Mitchell is that what's the kid say constantly? The head coach at Toledo goes, he wants to be coached so hard, and he loves it. Well, you got a coach who's a hard ass in Vic Fangio. See, Xavier Howard and Jalen Ramsey didn't like that coaching hard stuff down at Miami. But you got a kid here who wants to be coached hard. I think all football players want to be coached hard the right way. If I believe that you're coaching me and putting me in a position to succeed and you're getting on my ass, remember what I told you guys. When Coach Johnson was coaching all of us, Jerome and all of us, and he would get in our ass like you wouldn't believe. And I've told you guys this, and I've told Xander this numerous times. And I finally just said, why are you coaching me? Why are you screaming and hopping? Not screaming, but why are you on my ass? Worry when I'm not, son. Because when I'm not on you, I don't care. And if I don't care, you're a non-factor here. And if you're a non-factor here, I don't need you. And if I don't need you, you won't be here. That's a come to Jesus kind of conversation. That's the kind of guy you want. Okay? That's a kind of come to Jesus conversation. It's a grade A. He was ranked number 1. Williams says it's a grade A. There's no grades for drafting. Grades. Are you high? You have no idea who these guys are yet. Grade A. There's no such thing as grades. You're looking at need right now for player. Okay? There's no such thing as grade. You're not getting a grade from me on Monday after the draft is completed. How can you give a guy a grade of an A when he doesn't own an Eagle helmet yet? Give me a break, guy. What you give the Eagle organization a passing grade for is that they checked the boxes. It was a need. It was the number one need. They drafted the best player at that position. And I think you said some of that. Okay? And I do think you said some of that. However, and he's the best prospect. And if I read that the way you wrote it now that I'm saying it, I think you said the same thing. And I'm probably just being a little too critical there. You can't give grades yet until you see the kid play. Is A.J. Brown still the problem? He'll always be a problem. You know why? He's a headache. Look, one more time with that guy. You're not winning a Super Bowl with him on the team. You're just not. Cares about money and his targets. You're winning with Devontae. Devontae is a winner. Devontae wants to be an Eagle. A.J. Brown doesn't give a shit about being a Philadelphia Eagle. Okay? Doesn't. What's Dick Train say now? Laughs at Sills. How come your players all respond to me then, Dick Train, including your front office, calling my bosses? Then how come that goes on like that? Why do your players respond to me? Your front office and your PR guy sends me shitty texts. How come that goes on like that? Dick Train? How does that come out? How does that happen? How does that happen? If your players are the ones responding to me, I happen to say something, they get a little upset, and I don't know what to do here. I'm sorry. Hey, I'm sorry AJ Owens gets her feelings hurt. How could a guy hey, help me out here, Xander. How can she get her feelings hurt when you're making $32 million? How can she get her feelings hurt? Help me out. Help me out. Oh, look at Brandon going, I'm delusional. Well, go look at Devontae Smith's Twitter page. Over 500 responses to what I said about A.J. Owens. And there they were. They got some really weird little emoji. I have no idea what that is. Okay, so you want to call me, oh man, get off the lawn? I don't know what that little doll thing there is between the two of them. I mean, it looks really cute and all. So I don't really know. Then again, it's wide receiver, so God knows what it is. Okay. I don't want. Guy makes $32 million and he's crying. Well, he cried his way to his money. He got it. Okay. Your takes are horrible, so they prove you are bad at your job. Proving that I'm bad at my job when your football players and your team respond to me. Thanks, Ty. Doesn't make sense. You ignore people. You don't respond to them. Kind of like you. He deserved the money. I agree. 2 years left on this deal. Wish I could go to my bosses. Hey, I got 4 years left on my contract. Hey, you think we can renegotiate for triple the money? Can I please? Because it's me, I'll blow up and I won't show up. Sills, how do you feel about the 22nd pick? We just did an evaluation, and so I'll just quickly, they checked all the boxes, man. They took a top need, and they took the best player at that position. Sills will be banned from Philly soon. He'll be off JAKIB soon. His takes are horrible. They may give me 2 more hours. Oh, man. Sills was right. He got 30 to $25 million wide receivers. You don't have two $25 million wide receivers right now. You're not paying Devontae till 3 years from now. $25 million. You're paying him 8 this year. You're paying him 14 next year. And then your third year, you're paying him that. Don't worry. She won't be on the team, A.J. Owens. So his contract extension is coming following A.J. Owens. Don't say that out loud because it'll make me look like, oh, I see what he did. Oh, oh, AJ cried, so Sills cried. Okay. Sills can't hate the pick, especially when Verse got picked 2 picks ahead. And Chop got taken the pick ahead with the Dolphins. That's who I wanted the Eagles to take, was Chop Robinson, but they took him at 21. Keep ruffling feathers. Thank you, Wayne. AJ Owens worth every penny. Right, okay. I don't ever want to go back to Jalen Reagor. Hey, Brandon, those big money wide receivers don't result in Super Bowls. Chop was not. See, Daz goes, Chop was surprising. Not to me. Only to you. Only to you. Not to me. He went 21. I thought he'd go 22. So I was off a pick. I thought he'd go 22. He went 21. Right? I was off a pick. Those quarterbacks threw everything off. Get this. Daz goes 6 sacks in 3 years. Well, you drafted a guy, and Jordan Davis had 9 sacks in 4 years. You drafted him 13th. Daz, anything? You drafted Jordan Davis, who had 9 sacks in 4 years at Georgia. 9 sacks in 4 years. You drafted him. 2 different positions. I'm talking about production, son. Seals, you think we can get Powers or Cooper? Well, look at that. By the way, I want to take a look at some of that stuff on team needs and what we saw in the draft and the direction of where the Eagles can go with some of these players that are available. And with the picks that they still have available, do I think Howie makes a pick? Do I think he makes a trade here? I think it depends. I think a lot of great football players are still left on the board. Seals, do you think Atlanta threw a curveball in the draft? That in the Denver pick. And how high Alt went, I thought really kind of threw things up a little bit. Edgerrin Cooper's still there. Just to take a look at the draft here.